If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor look too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life for broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at the beginning, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are done, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 40 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to refine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you're the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a I don't give a fuck. 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 It's time to start doing the right thing. So trust your instincts, stop listening to others, and own your decisions. People will always tell you what to do, opinion and how to live. So let's create space for what matters most to you. You'll be glad you did. Now start claiming your time and your mental well-being by saying no more. No more. Say it loudly and proudly. In other words, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
And there we go, folks. We're back. How are you guys today? It's Monday. Good morning or afternoon, as the case may be, depending on where you're at in the world. Could even be evening. What do I know about it? All right, guys. So first of all, it looks like we're doing good here. We got sound. We've got everything going on that needs to go on. And looking pretty good here. Yeah. So let's see who's out there in the chat. Let's go. Got Fredo Fonzarelli out in the chat today. Mr. Boulay, Department of Numismatics. Mikey Balls is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Crow Nick. Good to see you too, man. The Raging Tomato has made an appearance. R. Allen is out in the house. Hugh, I guess is how you say that. 13 Bujicon, you're out there. good to see you. Imperious, Mr., and I'm sure more are coming. What a great day it is to be alive, ladies and gentlemen, out there in the world today. I've got my hot latte made by my smoking hot wife on her brand new espresso machine, which I think is awesome. It's great. And it's a rare thing for me, really, to have had such a relaxing weekend. We didn't really have a whole lot going on. I got to do a lot of reading yesterday. I got to do a lot of planning. I see you out there, are we not, men? Got to do just a lot of stuff, and so we got a few things to go over. We're going to talk about. Let's start off with. We are going to talk about Hunter Biden's thing. We are going to talk about XRP. If you're not familiar with that, that's a cryptocurrency that has just been off the rails. If you got in when it was like 25 cents, it's up to over $2. It's made a massive rally. It's like 50 cents yesterday. It's at like 270 right now. It's a massive rally, and it's very it's been a very cool thing to watch. A lot of this stuff is just cool to watch, whether or not you're into it or you're going to put money into it or whatever. And lastly, we're going to do some debate prep today because I'm going to go on the Reverie. That's by Prime Kaz. Not really sure how you say it. But Prime's channel. He's a Twitch streamer. He does debates. He tries to get leftist, moderates, and libertarians or conservatives, I guess. And we're going to tonight. The subject will be nepotism in government, based around the Hunter Biden scandal that is going on right now today in our very midst. And we're going to get some people up here. If you guys can make it, actually, Tomato, if you can make it towards the end of the show, I'd like to get your opinion on this. And I would really like to have maybe Anson Knowles or Mr., one of you guys to come up here. And we'll do a little bit of debate prep. I'll give you my arguments. I'll give you what I think they're going to do, and we're going to have a great time doing this. Apparently, this is going to be a Monday thing, and which I'm really looking forward to. Flow State, you too, sir, are welcome when I open the panel up, because we're going to have to do that good old fashioned debate prep for this. Not really sure who all is going to be on the panel tonight. It looks like it's going to be mostly conservative again, or at least libertarian. So we'll run all that down as we go on. But let's dive into what is going on out there in the world today, guys. It is a crazy, crazy place right now. I'm going to be on Flow State. I'm going to be on the Reverie tonight. It's a panel debate. Prime Kaz, something like that. And he's a leftist, and so he's always trying to get conservatives on. And you have to be like somebody that Prime respects, has to kind of put in a word for you. I've been trying for months to get on. Last week, I killed it, according to everybody. I was actually on Scott's channel last night, and I was like, man, I think I may have gone a little too hard on the Reverie for my first time out. Maybe I should have staggered it a little bit, but they said, no, man, it was awesome. It was like you cracked everybody up. It was really good, and I had the leftist on their feet. Off their feet most of the time. So let's talk about this XRP thing. So I don't know how you guys, if you even know about it, how you came to know about it, but this was the most interesting thing I've had in a while. My wife comes to me the other day and she says, a link to the panel. Yes, the mods have the link, and we'll be pulling people up probably. Give me like probably 20, 30 minutes, and I'll start pulling people up. We'll talk about the debate. I'll signal the mods. So guys, so the XRP thing is very interesting, because my wife comes to me the other day and she says, hey, I I'm going to be rebroadcasting it on this channel. It's already up. It's already scheduled on my channel, so you can watch it here. Flo. So it's not an open panel debate. It's closed panel, and it's really weird how he runs it. We'll talk about that in a minute. So my wife comes to me and she says, "Hey, have you heard about this XRP thing?" And I'm like, "Kinda, not really." It's like, "Well, this pastor says that it's going to go crazy. It's going to be really big, and he predicted the Trump assassination attempt, and he predicted a bunch of other stuff, and now he's predicting that XRP is going to go to the moon." And I'm like, "Huh, okay." Well, she sent me the link. I started checking it out. So the pastor, I think, is full of crap. I don't, he seems nice enough, like a nice enough fellow, but obvious, in my opinion, it seems like it's an obvious kind of a Joel Osteen kind of, scam with a little bit of Jerry Falwell. Well, maybe not Jerry Falwell, but, some of that old fashioned revival mysticism thrown in. That's just my take on it. I don't know that for sure. But but I did check out XRP and I started looking at it. It's a legit crypto. It's been around actually for a while, but it's just now started getting some traction. And yesterday it went from about 50 cents to it's currently at $2.70 ish right now, which is massive. I do think so people are going to start taking profit pretty soon, and the minute they do, once people start pulling liquidity out, that's going to drop the price. It's going to fall off a shelf, and then maybe you can buy back in. It's cheap enough that you could put $200 or $300 into it, and maybe make double your money in a pretty short period of time. It's a very low risk way to try and get a feel for how all this stuff works, and a very low cost of entry to do so. But it's very interesting because I can't see any actual reason for XRP to be gaining traction other than people just suddenly believe in it. It's cheaper than Bitcoin. It's kind of the same thing as Bitcoin. And so there's no real reason for it not to do pretty well. And it should be it should be a pretty good sorry guys, I got to mute my phone. I'm getting a lot of stuff going on. So, but I really don't understand. I really can't see any legit reasons why XRP is moving up. There's no real backing for it. The lawsuit being settled this month doesn't. That's not really a good way. I mean, who cares about a lawsuit? Compared to like Ethereum or anything else, I don't. There's no. Other than that, it's currently cheap, and it's a low risk thing. So, I do think that like I said, if you want to get into this stuff, this is a fairly low risk, low budget way to do it. And but it's just interesting to see so there was people yesterday. It started out at like 47 cents. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Started out trading yesterday morning at 8 o'clock around 47 cents a share or a coin, 47 cents each. Whatever. So then it went to about 50, and around lunchtime it was creeping up, right? It was creeping up over $1, and it got to a little bit over $1. Maybe it was $1.17 yesterday morning. At any rate, it kept creeping up, and it would drop back a little bit. And it would creep up. It would drop back. It would creep up. But everybody, like every 2 hours, people were wrong about it. Like there was, it's gonna end at it's gonna break $1 for the first time ever, and then but it's gonna tank. And then they said, well, if it hits $2, that's amazing. And then it's like, well, if it hits $2.13 a coin, that's awesome. I remember that article specifically. And an hour later, it was at like 217, 215, whatever it was. And then it just kind of kept going up yesterday. Yeah, I think you're right. Are we not, men? But it just kind of, and yesterday, I think it closed yesterday at like 267, 270, something like that. And You think it's going to go to $10 to $20? It might. But yeah, and if you bought at 17 cents, you're going to have a pretty good change. And I don't see any reason why it shouldn't go up that much, just because there's a lot of people who feel like they missed out on Bitcoin. There's a lot of people who feel like that this could be the next Bitcoin, which is like every crypto. It's always the next Bitcoin. And so I think that there's some, I don't know that there's, I don't know that, I just think it's low risk, and it's a good way to learn how this stuff works. And again, there's no real reason for it. There's no extra value that's been added this month, versus, for the past, I think it's been out a year, something like that. Are We Not Men is obviously a very large crypto guy. Yeah, I do. Retail just started buying. That's true. But I also think there's a lot of social. This is one of those social media kind of phenomenon things that goes on. So we'll just keep paying attention to it, maybe, and we'll see what happens. But I just thought it was very interesting yesterday. It was a nice little bull run. Yeah, Bitcoin is starting to retrace. It's I kind of actually, it's funny because when it was at 50 grand a coin, I was like, Bitcoin, legit could get pretty high, especially if Trump wins. And so we were debating, because I'm not really a big crypto guy. I think crypto is one of those things that I think you can day trade. It's like a stock that, it's more like a stock to me. It's more like, a commodity than anything else. So, Mr. Boulay, it's XRP. I actually think, put a grand in it. I mean, you can, it's fine. So, it's I don't know. I think it's a good, safe way to get involved in Bitcoin or in crypto. So Drake, dude, I remember when Bitcoin was like 10 or 15 cents a coin, and I could have bought $100 worth I could have bought 100 Bitcoin for the cost of a pizza, and I didn't do it because I was like, whatever. It's just not, it's not going to stick. And my buddy, who is a computer guy, was like the same way. He absolutely was the same way. So, but anyway, the financial markets are going to do a really interesting thing, because as we talked about on Friday night or Saturday night with Berto, if you are looking to make money, right? If you're looking to invest and you don't mind a tiny bit of risk, but you're fairly risk adverse, right now is not a bad time to get in XRP, right? That's funny. HYU. That's cool. It's funny because, I normally invest in kind of weird, like penny stocks and things like that. And I don't know why I didn't buy $100 worth of Bitcoin back in the day. I should have, but I didn't. But then again, I could have bought Tesla, and I didn't, because, and there was a couple of reasons why I didn't buy Tesla, and I had to divert. So I had to, one of the reasons why I don't pay as much attention to the stock and commodities markets anymore is because my wife's job, and she has a FINRA certification. For me to buy stock is like, or Bitcoin, or really any commodity like that, is absolutely crazy for me to get into. It is just absolutely, it's so hard, but that may be changing. I think my wife is going to change jobs. And if she does that, there's a window there that I might be able to do some trading. I used to trade Forex a lot. I don't know if you guys know what Forex is, but it's currency markets, and I used to bet. Basically, it's basically legalized gambling. I would make money off of the volatility in the market with trading of currency, and it was always a good time. So, but right now, guys, if you're looking to go out and actually have investments and you feel good about and stuff you want to feel good about, stuff you want to go out and just not have a lot of money risked, right? Like it may be a lot of money to you, but maybe a lot of money to you, but it's something that you could risk, right? Like if you just took the cost of a dinner out, right? Like I mean, what does a dinner out for most people cost now? Somewhere between $80 and $100 at the minimum. You take you and your girlfriend or wife out, and if you have kids, it's more than that. I mean, we got haircuts yesterday. Me and my two boys, and it was $100 by the time it was all said and done. That's crazy for haircuts. Anyway, so if you want to do that, you can go out and there's a lot of these things. And Warren Buffett actually made most of his money in the pink sheets, which are what are called penny stocks. And he would buy those penny stocks, and then he would buy so much of them that he would own part of the company, and he would go to the board and he would change the company. And then he did some very interesting things. There's a great book about how Warren Buffett did it called The Snowball. And it's actually really, really good. So, but for a long time, I had to get out of all of the investing because my wife's job and the FINRA and the compliance and all of this. So, if you're going to, if you're really going to get into it, first of all, don't sink your life savings in it. Start small, move up. There's going to be, if we look at what happened so we were in the same basic situation, arguably worse than when Obama left office and Trump came in the first time. Trump's coming back into the office. This time, there's even more sentiment behind him than when he first came in the first time, and a lot of things have happened. And so if we just go by history, right? We just use history, and you look at what happened, and you say, okay, well, we had the money initially when Trump came in the office, tons of money moved into the stock market. A little bit of money comparatively moved into crypto. Now we're seeing money move into crypto ahead of the market. We're going to start seeing IPOs again. This is very important. The stock market has to free up. It's been gummed up for 4 years, and they haven't done anything. They've been scared basically of doing anything. So, and it's very difficult for these for financial institutions to make money. So, I personally would, if it were me, and I'm not telling you what to do. You're grown adults for the most part. You make your own decisions. What I would do is be very careful what you invest in. Go through reputable dealers and platforms. Yeah, okay, they take a percentage, but it's worth the security to give them that little bit of a percentage. Plus, it gives them an incentive to do good work for you. I would not. If you understand a specific area like Forex or technology or whatever, that's one thing. And as Are We Not Men says, which should go without saying, but we have to repeat it over and over and over again. Only invest what you can literally throw down a toilet and not care about, or you can spend on a night out drinking. Seriously. But you do a little bit at a time, it adds up. Right now, if you were to if you were to build a diversified portfolio of some crypto, right? And new member, the Raging Patriot 1776, 5 months. 5 months he's been a member. That is amazingly awesome. Thank you, sir. So if you're going to build a portfolio, first of all, I recommend building a portfolio. I would have some crypto, some stocks, some bonds. Bonds are good, and right now you can find bonds that are paying 4, 5, 6%, and that's great. That's a reasonable return on your money. And I would use a broker, and I would put the majority of the money right now probably in an index fund. The index funds, especially if we have the surge in the stock market that I think we're going to see, the index market is going to be off the chain, and I think that you could. I think that the rate of return is going to be high for a very short period of time. But there's, again, you have to be willing to lose the money though, unless you put it into like an index fund. Most index funds right now are performing exceptionally well. They're going to perform better as we go into this next. And look, guys, the reason I'm saying this, the reason that I'm kind of pushing this right now is we're going to have a lot of volatility as Trump moves into office. We're going to have a lot of money moving left and right, in and out, in the market, out of the market. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. So ask a bunch of questions, talk to a broker, look into splitting a portion of your investments into very specific types of life insurance. That's actually a really good thing. And I'm not going to go too deep into this because it's honestly, there's always a chance you're going to lose. You have to mitigate that chance. But we are on a trend, and we're going to be on a trend. There's going to be a lot of volatility, and volatility makes the opportunity to make a lot of money. Makes a chance to lose a lot of money too, or a little bit of money, but there's a lot of chance to make money. Guys, you have to look around and see the things that are going on. It's just like, look at this XRP thing, right? Like XRP is not something I would normally invest in. But maybe it's a good thing. The next time Tesla dips, I would probably buy a couple of shares of Tesla, right? But you really need to, especially if you're not a super educated investor, or you're just investing for the long term, the future, which is what you should be doing, is you're not investing for today. You're investing for 20 years from now when you retire. And this is how you should look at that. Take what you need to live on. And Cheeks touched on this, right? But take what you need to live on, the way you want to live, and add that up. So whatever your monthly spend is going to be, right? So if you have you travel, you eat, put gas in the car, you have insurance, you have car payments, you have whatever that number is a month, 10 grand, 8 grand, 20 grand, whatever that number is. That's the number you have to aim for to be able to live the rest of your life in retirement comfortably. So if you today invest into various funds, and it could be anything from it could be Bitcoin. I personally don't believe that stocks are proper long-term investment unless you're literally doing blue chips or index funds or something like that. Index fund, I think, is really the way to go. But you really need to make those investments so that down the road, as you're getting paid back out of those funds, you are the money that you, first of all, and you want to inflation proof it as much as possible and diversify as much as possible so that when you have, whatever, $2, $3, $4 million in the bank or in assets, as you liquidate those assets, as you use those in your retirement later in life, you're able to maintain the same level of living, regardless of inflation or deflation or anything else. Now, personally, I like real estate as that vehicle. I don't like what Cheeks was talking about the other day, and we'll get into that just very briefly in just a second. But I like real estate because I like rentals because generically they're fairly inflation proof, as long as you're not trying to sell them. And even then, if you buy at 200 and you are able to sell it at 400, that's great, as long as you don't need to buy another house to replace it, because now you can't, you can't afford, there are no more $200,000. You didn't actually profit, right? Because the $200,000 that you put in, you could have grown in another way. So you grew it, but it's not. I wouldn't look at that as a massive win, right? Because you can't replace that property that is earning potential. I also don't like the idea of this slow flip that Cheeks was talking about the other night. I hope he's in the chat. If he's not, I'm going to send him the link too. But somebody send him the link to the show so that he can show up and argue and bitch and whine, moan. Call him out in the Discord. Just tell him, hey, we're talking about you, bro. But when we're talking about like what Cheeks is talking about, so he's talking about a $30,000 loan at 12%, and I told him that there's no way I would do that. There's no way. First of all, I can get money cheaper. 12% over 5 years on $30,000, he's going to pay back almost $60,000 total, right? Over the 5 years. So it's a great deal for the guy who he gets loaned from, right? Because that guy doubles his money without doing anything except writing Cheeks a check. I would do that. If somebody wants to do that, I would do that. I'll give you that deal, right? As long as you can pay it back, right? And Cheeks is looking at it as a very small amount that he has to pay back. The problem is that he doesn't actually make any money for 5 years on the property that he has sold, because all of that money is it's evening out. And then you just don't know. People default on loans all the time. If the house is only worth X amount, but so he effectively pays $60,000 for the house. If he had that money that he has invested, because he literally, I remember he said he was paying us out of pocket for the first 5 years. That money can go into other things that will make more money. It's not enough money. Now, I understand his point is what I'm doing is I'm just doing it without being crazy about it. And that is I try and have, so let's just say that I want to have a minimum of $10,000 a month in revenue off of that's completely passive. If I just wake up and I don't do anything else in a day, I still make $10,000 a month, right? I need it to be completely passive. So to do that, you need to, and I need that in $10,000 today money, right? So if, for example, we have inflation, my rent's going to go up. So the rent goes from, rises with inflation. And so if the if I all of a sudden need $15,000 a month, well, the rent has adjusted itself to cover that $15,000 equivalent a month, right? So it evens out. It's relatively inflation proof, and it'll be fine. So obviously rent rising is slower than the than inflation sometimes, because you have leases and people are in there for a year or 2 years or whatever. That's okay as long as you account for that up front. So to do that, and this is very simple math, the average rent in the US currently, out of California and New York, is about $2,000 a month. So that would mean that I would need 5 houses minimum to make the passive income of $10,000 a month. Well, as it happens, I own 5 rental properties, and I'm adding more. If you're going to, and I'm adding more because maybe $10,000 a month isn't enough. Maybe I want a little extra cushion. Maybe I need $20,000 a month. Maybe whatever. It doesn't matter. But this is money that I make outside of everything else, and it's money that comes in now. Currently, most of that money goes to pay off. The way I've got it structured is most of the rental income I have now goes to pay for properties, right? So I own outright one property now. I own one property outright. That property basically pays the mortgage on another property. I have the rest of my properties have very low mortgages, and so all totaled, they pay for themselves, and the rents pay for all of the mortgages. And so for the next 10 or 15, and we're on very short notes. So you always want to do, if you can, you want to do a 15-year. There's a bunch of reasons for that, but you definitely want to do a 15-year. Put the money in, let it roll, let the money let the money pay for your stuff. You'll come out ahead. You just will. What Cheeks is talking about doing is crazy, in my opinion. It might work, but it's not. First of all, it's not enough. It's just not enough money. But it's and look, this is how people, this is just the way a lot of people think. I'm not really sure how. I'm not really sure why people think this way, but a lot of people just do not understand money on any real level at all. And they think they're going to save themselves into retirement. They're going to have a pension that's going to cover everything, which pensions are not inflation proof. There's all these things. So if you're going to plan for your retirement when you are old, try and use inflation proof things usually that's real estate. Small businesses are relatively inflation proof because they raise prices with inflation. So they keep the profit margin stays the same. So if you are invested in a business that pays out dividends or pays out, you own half or a third or a quarter of a business, and you get some of that profit. Well, that profit level should stay right about the same as long as the business is doing holding or gaining market share. So guys, just look at this stuff because it's important to not end up when you're old and gray, broke, and trying to work somewhere because you have to. Now, I think that you always should work in retirement no matter what. I still work. Right now, we've got a building project going on. I do this. This doesn't make me any money right now. It needs to. I completely forgot to do my shill intro. I'm going to have to get better at that. the reality is that I'm going to have to slow down on doing this stream if it doesn't start making more money, because I have to make X amount of money just for me, right? The there's a lot of there's just a lot of those things. Don't buy crypto on its high points. Always wait for a retraction, and hopefully hopefully a major retraction. Um, the and just be smart, guys. You really need to be smart, because if you're not, it's going to be bad. You're going to lose money. You're going to struggle through life. Don't do that. It's just like, like I said, like at some point there's going to be a breakover where the cost benefit of doing this show, for example, is not going to be there, because the time I spend my wife's actually already on me about it, but the time I spend doing this show versus the time I could be out buying another house or doing some other projects, that kind of thing, is more valuable than me doing the show. Because at this point, the show is really all about my ego, and not, and it needs to be more about, hey, got to bring in some money, which is why I try and do good content. I really try and make the show valuable, and give people, something, so that they feel good about donating. I don't always succeed in that. That's fine. Things happen, but at the end of the day, it's going to, it'll even out. So that's enough of the financial stuff today. I've kind of bored everybody. I apologize about it, but really, guys, think about your future. Think about your future in terms of, I need $10,000 to live on a month, or whatever it is, wherever you live, wherever you plan to live. Maybe you plan to live in Thailand and you only need $3,000 a month to live on, whatever. Start today. You put $10 or $15 a week into an index fund. You put $200 a month into a stock portfolio, blue chips or whatever. You get a good wealth management guy or a good planner. You're going to do relatively well, I promise you. And when it comes down to retirement, you're going to be one of those guys with $2 or $3 million in assets, or more, to where you can just go play golf every day, or have a part-time job that you like to do, and not a borderline full-time job that you wish that you didn't have to get up and go to. And we all know those guys that worked their entire lives and spent and had the hot rods and had everything, but they never really did any investing, or it was always next month I'll invest. Next year I'm going to invest. You know what? I'm not going to invest. I'm going to buy this really cool car, or I'm going to buy this really cool boat, and that's my retirement, because someday that thing's going to be worth a lot of money, and that's just not going to work. You're going to fail miserably at that. We all know those guys who did that, and they work as night security guards for Wells Fargo or whoever I don't even know who the security companies are now. They work as night security guards. They work at Walmart as greeters. They do all the things that nobody wants to do, because why? Because they got bills to pay, bro. They got bills to pay. Man, that's good. That is really good. All right. Now that I've bored the fuck out of everybody, let's talk about Hunter Biden. Let's get the guys up. Let's get at least two people up. Silvar, you can come up, or Mr. Who else? Flow State would be good. Any of you guys want to come up? Come on up, because it's time for the debate prep portion of the program. Now that I've bored everyone to death with money talk. And by the way, I'm going to take this opportunity to say, enhance my grift. They send in more money. The show's got to start making money, guys, or I'm going to have to stop doing it. It does cost me time, money, and effort to make this show, to do the research, to put the things together, and it's time I spend away from other really cool things. And so, if you can afford to send some money in, send some money in, and we'll we've got to enhance my grift, because my grift sucks right now. I understand it's the holidays. Don't take money out of your pocket you can't spend. Put it put it into a mutual fund, or buy a little bit of gold, or buy a little bit of whatever crypto you like. Buy a little bit of something. But if you can, if you got a few dollars to spare, send it my way, so that I can continue to provide this meager entertainment which I provide. So let's dig into that. Arthur Dye is going to be really pissed that she wasn't here. It would have been great to talk money with her, but she has to work. She's actually probably listening on headphones right now and fuming, and that's okay. I'll see it in the comments later. So yeah, guys, got to enhance the grift, guys. Got to enhance the grift. So who's coming up? I need to be looking for Flow State. Are you coming up? You still here? He probably went to sleep. All the money talk probably bored him to death. Who we got? We got people getting links, or what? Do I need to give people links? Do. Silvar, I dig it, brother. You can snipe from the chat like everybody else. Flow State's probably napping. He probably went to sleep. So somebody will have to go wake him up. The Raging Tomato was here earlier. She's probably sleeping too. All the money talk puts people to sleep. It is a different platform, guys. Make sure before you come up, check your mic. The mic may not be working as you want it to, but that's okay. So again, guys, just to tell you guys what's going on. So Prime, I think it's pronounced Kayes, something like that. Cayes, Prime Keys, maybe. I don't know. So Prime hosts a debate panel on Twitch and YouTube. He tends to and he'll just pick a subject. It's, in theory, it's it's not left versus right or anything, but it's Anson, get up here, buddy. We're gonna talk. You're gonna love this entire conversation. So tonight's topic is, there's going to be, so first of all, they're going to start out with free discussion. I probably will miss some of that because I'm not going to get home as early as I want to. They start at 7 my time, and at 7 o'clock I should be at Scouts with my son. And I won't make it home for roughly an hour, so I will be late to the party. I'm going to try not to be too late to the party. We're going to see what's going on tonight. We'll make an appearance, do some stuff. You're reconciling accounts today. Oh, okay. You're working. Anson is working today. He's going to lurk in the chat. So, again, I don't know. I'm hoping to be there for the start of it. I'm going to see if I can't get, if I can't make something happen to where I can stay home and be on panel. See if I can get my son a ride to and from the Scouts to his meeting. We'll see. No promises. I sent you the link, Mister. I sent it to you. The topic for tonight. First of all, they're going to have free discussion. That usually is an hour. And last time it was boring as fuck. So I don't know if I'll be involved in that. Maybe it'll be cool this time. Who knows? This time, the main topic, which will happen once everybody is there, is Hunter Biden, who was convicted on federal charges, has now been pardoned by his father, President Joe Biden. This after months of Biden promising not to do so. Shock and outrage is being expressed across the political spectrum, as this move is seen as an act of nepotism. But should that matter? Ivanka Trump, this is claim one, was accused of using her White House position to get her personal business trademarks approved in China. Should that be of concern to the public? For his second term, Trump has nominated one of his donors who has no military experience to be Secretary of the Navy. Is that a problem? Is it at all an issue when politicians are doing favors for friends and family? If you think it is, would you make nepotism and favoritism illegal? And would you vigorously apply that standard to the president? So this is going to be an interesting topic, guys. Let me get force my camera to focus again. I may change to my cinematic lens for tonight because this is I'm getting tired of that. We will see. So let me see. I got some text up here. So what do we want to do? All right. Am I blowing up over here? Mister, did you not get the did I get the link? What? Wrong link. I sent you the wrong link. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, I sent you the wrong link. That's my bad. That's my bad, man.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This is about the Hunter Biden thing regarding nepotism.
Yeah. So what do you think about all that? What's up with that?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't, going up against any of the libs, I wouldn't assume they're alone. So
they're not
have
alone.
They're going to have some kind of
No. This is a
minion
panel debate. This is a panel debate.
Yeah. No, I know, but
so right now, it seems like there's more conservative. It looks like there's going to be more conservative. So in the group chat for tonight, and I don't know that all these people are going to show up, but we have Admiral Gibbs, He's conservative-ish. He's a little bit off the wall. I'm not really sure I like his rhetoric. We have Corey Campbell, he's a liberal Canadian guy, bisexual. He's a scientist in theory, at least. He's a biologist,
Right.
and supposedly, he's okay. Fabian Liberty Scott is going to be there. It looks like the same girl, the Katusha or Katiusha, whatever her name was. I think she's going to be back. So the chick got smacked around last time, she's going to be back. Lactoid, he's conservative. He's going to be back. And Sociologic looks like he's going to be back. And now he is definitely on the right.
Yeah. Well, it's a good debate topic because a good one is one that can be argued from both sides and it's circular. Regarding this, obviously, for the reason that, we found out Biden's pardoning Hunter,
let's be honest. We knew that was going to happen. We knew that was going to happen.
You're right, of course. Yeah. I mean, this idea that from the other side, because they always would come at Trump and be like, he's a criminal, he's this and that. This idea that all the politicians are up to Trump were clean is an absolute joke. Now, it's what sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So a couple of things. So there's a couple of things here. First, I want to break down the. Where'd I put it? I just had it up. Sorry, I got distracted. So the first thing is, should it matter that he pardoned him? Yeah, it absolutely should. I don't feel like that a president that can't even remember his own name, that had to drop out of the election, has not been capable of doing his job for a year, at least a year. He should not be able to pardon his son, right? Like, obviously, he doesn't know what he's doing. He shouldn't have been able to do it. If he can't run for election, he can't pardon his son. He can't fulfill the duties of his office. And so this means that there's something, and he said he would never do that. Remember, he said he was never going to pardon a criminal. He was referencing Trump.
Right.
He said he would never pardon a criminal. He would never pardon someone that was that obviously a criminal. Now, obviously, it's his son. If you read the actual words of the pardon, it pardons Biden for Biden Jr. for anything that he's done from after 2014. This is an important distinction because 2014 is when all of the Burisma, his biotech company,
right,
and all of those things started that were nebulous. They started coming into focus, and then there were politicians involved. There were military officers and police and prosecutors in Russia and Ukraine that were involved. This is when the big guy, 10% for the big guy conversations took place. This is when all this happened. So it's and so no one that nothing that Hunter says can be used again. Well, let me rephrase. Hunter cannot be pressured now to use what he knows against those people, right? He is now protected. He can't go to jail. They're not going to, right. There's nothing that the U.S. government can do to him during that period of time.
Yeah,
and so,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, which means that there's really nothing that the feds can hold over him. They can't hold prison over him. They can't hold any kind of sanctions against him. While Hunter Biden himself it's really irrelevant. The pardon to him is really irrelevant. He wasn't going to spend any time in jail anyway. What it really does is it removes the ability for prosecutors and investigators to leverage Hunter Biden's own criminality to gain access and testimony against other people. And so absolutely, I don't think Joe Biden had anything to do with this pardon. I think the pardon is completely engineered, and there's nothing you can say that would convince me otherwise. There's not one thing that you could say. There's not one person that's involved, from Nancy Pelosi to Chuck Schumer. Bernie Sanders is probably involved, right? Like this is how deep this runs, and you're never going to convince me.
I just like to point out. I just like to point out that when Trump got his, what do they call it, impeachment? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a week before they impeached him.
Mm-hmm.
He called the Ukraine, and then immediately after, that's the week that they were like, we have to impeach him.
Yes, that's exactly correct. And I was moving there actually. So that what we saw is when Trump had that 20-minute phone call with I'm drawing a blank on his name, Zelensky, who was installed in a coup specifically to shield Hunter Biden's activities. Okay. Hunter and Joe Biden's activities in Ukraine. There's no other reason for the United States to have interceded and installed Zelensky in a coup over the legally elected president of Ukraine. Okay, so that's rule. So number one, Zelensky's illegally installed in a coup orchestrated by the U.S. Government to protect, look specifically to protect Hunter and Joe. By the way, that might actually come back to haunt them, because if they go back prior to 2014, okay, back to 2012 when Joe got into office and started all of this, they might be able to find something that Hunter did. We'll see. But I digress. What we're looking at here is that phone call where Trump said, you need to put a new prosecutor, a new district attorney, equivalent of a district attorney, on this case to look into to Burisma. The next day, they started the proceedings against Trump for impeachment, because he said, you have to put a new prosecutor on here. The prosecutor that's investigating Burisma has come forward and said that he's been bribed, he's been intimidated, and he's not moving forward with anything against the Bidens, right? Against Burisma, which was tied to Hunter Biden. So if we want to go down all the way down this rabbit hole, which I don't think they will want to, right? Like, because if they start asking for facts, I mean, the facts are just out there. Everybody, I mean, have been out there since 2014. So it's a fact that Zelensky came to power in a coup. It's a fact that the U.S. backed that. It's a educated guess that the reason why, the only reason that could possibly have been given for that makes any sense, is not that we wanted to force Ukraine, or we wanted to push Ukraine into joining NATO, and the duly elected president didn't want that. That's a fabrication. He wanted to. It was just under specific circumstances, right? Like he's not a stupid man. He was not a stupid man. Zelensky was a pawn. So that's.
I got some because I think what might happen is they might kick the can down the road once you bring that up, or
they're definitely going to kick the can down. It's
going to get to nuances. So I just looked up some stuff for you real quick, and I just like to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, man.
So here's the difference between what happens when a Democrat pardons people and Trump
Only
does.
2
Okay,
presidential pardons in the history of the United States.
right. So it seems to me that the majority of Obama and Biden's pardons, right? This is not a new thing. It happens. They did pardons on conspiracy drug charges.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at Trump, he didn't do that. The only ones he did, of that caliber were to essentially give a little win to the Democrats, because Obama's pardons, I looked it up, they didn't stick, and so Trump was like, okay, I'll be nice and help you out with that. But these two in particular are Biden's. Abraham W. Bolden Sr., a Secret Service agent soliciting money to commit fraud. Beverly Ann Thomas, second-degree murder while armed. Okay, these are, completely different and out of the scope of regular pardons. And the reason why I brought up Biden and Obama's conspiracy pardons is because what do we know that's on the Republican side that's a major conspiracy at the moment in terms of the court system? January 6th, right?
Sure.
So maybe that'll come up in your stuff tonight. I don't know, but I'm just letting you know, for them to say that, oh, it's different. No. Obama and Biden pardoned.
Well, I think it is quite different, actually. I think Hunter Biden's pardon is the most different pardon in history, mainly
Right.
because I don't think Joe Biden did it. I think that he honestly, first of all, I don't think he knows what he's doing, so I don't know how he can pardon anybody. Second, there's no reason for him to pardon his son. His son wasn't going to go to prison. His son wasn't going to do it. There wasn't any reason to do that unless you wanted to protect
Right.
unless other
Ukraine
people
stuff.
needed unless other people needed protection. And Biden himself doesn't need protection. He's going to leave office. He's going to be a doddering old man somewhere, and that's the end of it. So we have to look at why. It's not just nepotism. It's not just, I don't want my son to have a record. His son has a record. His son has had a record for a long time. Right? Like having the drug charges and the felony gun charge, that who cares? He already had the felony gun. The reason he couldn't have a gun is because he already had a felony. So why pardon him?
Well, the point I'm trying to make with all this is that when it comes to them, it seems to be backdoor government related.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that 100%. On the other side. There's
yeah, definitely. We'll get to that. I just want to be really clear about the motivation behind pardoning Hunter Biden in the first place. So I'm going to address TR. That's a great point. He technically loses his ability to claim the fifth. However, there's nothing that can compel someone to testify. Okay. They can say, I'm not going to testify. They can get up there and say, I'm not going to. Now they can be treated as a hostile witness. You can ask leading questions. You can do all of that. But if somebody doesn't want to testify, you cannot force them to testify. And Biden knows that. Like this is very clearly. I mean, look, they got a lot of lawyers, right? And I think that let's just be honest. It is apparent to a 3-year-old that Trump, while he's downplaying it quite a bit, he is super pissed about the last 4 years. And he has set everything in motion to literally destroy the Democrats. When he nominated the new director of the FBI and fired a lot of the national security personnel, and then denied rehiring the rehiring of some, that sent a clear message to the Democrats. Do you think the timing of this is not odd? Biden could have pardoned his son 6 months ago.
Right. No, it's not a coincidence.
There's no coincidence, guys. This is total total. This is a legal shield. This is a legal shield. This is all it is. Now, we can talk about, Trump's actions, right? Trump has never pardoned anybody that he wasn't advised by other people to pardon on a and in most cases, and I can't think of one that's not this way. Those people were either wrongfully accused, they served an extraordinary sentence, and or they were facing death. Right? That's you can pretty much. I mean, I'm sure there are other buckets, but you can pretty much put all of his pardons into one of those three buckets, right?
Yeah. Well, I went and looked at it real quick, and one thing I noticed on Trump's end is that a lot of them were victims of the government's nefarious actions. Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, and that kind of thing. But like I said, if you go to the other end, Hunter Biden ignored a congressional subpoena. Literally
Yes.
just got up and walked out on Congress.
Yes.
I mean, this is the point I'm making. Like, it seems to be.
If we want to talk about true nepotism, the fact that
Right.
he could do that and not have U.S. Marshals slamming him to the ground is crazy. Like that's 100% nepotism. So that's great. That's a good point. Now, so Hunter is Hunter's a special case. I'll give it that Hunter's a special case, right? Like, who cares? Now, if it's going to, so does it matter that he did that? Well, it's only the second time a president has ever pardoned a family member in history, both of which I believe were Democrats. And in this case, it's definitely politically motivated and politically timed because Trump is because daddy's home. Let's just put it on. Daddy's home.
Right.
Nobody wants to get the switch. So let's just put
the
that
reason
there.
why I brought up the congressional subpoena thing is because on the other side, what's his name? The one that runs Steve Bannon. He went to federal prison for ignoring a congressional subpoena.
Yes. Right.
So,
Yeah. So it's laws applies to thee, but not to me. That's how the Democrats have operated for a very long time. Now, the interesting thing is when we get into the rest of this topic, right? Like I'm just going to, because I think that most of the panel is going to back me up on those points, right? So here's the thing. If we're going to talk about Ivanka Trump getting the patents approved in China, well, first of all, that's a nothing burger. She'd already had patents approved in the past, so they already knew who she was. It wasn't like she was a new entity and she got waved through because of who she was, although I'm sure that did play a part of it, right? And now there's now, do we say that that's nepotism? Maybe. I don't think so. I mean, at the point in time that all of this was happening, Ivanka Trump was running Trump Enterprises. She was not personally involved in the government. She supported her dad, but that was about it. Her husband, Jared Kushner, how do you say his name? Was he was Secretary of State, I believe. Correct? Is he Secretary of State?
Kushner.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one, but I will say, as far as some of these other issues, you got to keep in mind also, Trump's family was subpoenaed and subject to heavy oversight, and so you look at the double standard. Biden goes to the courthouse and throws a hissy fit, right? Says, "Oh, they're just causing trouble." Walks into the Congress, pretty much gives them the finger, and turns around and walks away, like willy nilly.
So here's the thing about Kushner. So if they bring Kushner up, here's a problem. He was only a senior advisor to Trump. He was not given an official government position, right? So, but Kushner is a huge part of the reason that all of the foreign policy that Trump implemented actually worked. Kushner worked on all of that, and it all worked, right? Kushner knew what he was doing. And he's the one that brokered so many of these deals that Trump obviously gets credit for, because he he's the leader of the ship. But Kushner was he wasn't riding coattails. He was a major player already, and he added value to the office. So that's you can't say that he got his job just because Ivanka was Trump's daughter, right? Now, should that be of concern to the public that she got her trademarks approved? No, who cares? Why does that matter? It didn't do anything. Second term, Trump's nominated one of his donors who has no military experience to be Secretary of the Navy. Is that a problem? No. First of all, that's not unusual. It was just 15 years ago that we had a Secretary of the Navy that had never served. So who cares? The guy that they have nominated for the position has a great history of making things really work, right? And I mean, he worked for Goldman Sachs. He understands finance. He understands business. He understands organization. He put together a private management fund for Dell, MDS. I think they called it MDS, MDC, something like that. But it basically ran Michael Dell's, the creator of Dell Computers, ran his portfolio, his investments. He was like his only client. Plus, he had his own other separate business aside from working with Dell, and Dell did exceedingly well. So, I think it's honestly, I think it's a great choice. I have said for many, many years that, and I always say that we used to elect people, and people used to get put into positions because of their successes, because of merit, and not who they knew or how many asses they had kissed. And since most flag officers, that includes admirals and generals, are now political creatures, they only get moved up through congressional appointment, which means they have to be they become political animals. Now, who cares if why would I want an admiral who has spent a bunch of time that's no longer on board a ship, no longer on the front lines, no longer sees regular normal sailors every day? Why would I want that person to be Secretary of the Navy? Obviously, I don't want that person to be Secretary of the Navy, because he owes a bunch of political debts. In this case, it could be argued that I think successfully that Mr. I can't remember the guy's name. I forget it's Cash something. It doesn't matter. The donor's name. I'm sure that the donor that donated to Trump doesn't need the job. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the clout. He's just there to do a great fucking job. And,
you mean Kash Patel?
Yes, I think is that his name?
Yeah, Kash Patel. He's going to be the FBI director.
No. I'm talking about the Secretary of the Navy guy, Kash Patel. Patel is what triggered Hunter Biden getting pardoned. Appointing Kash Patel, who's going to go in and restructure the FBI, and he's going to fix that fucking agency, is why Hunter Biden's pardoned right now today. So I don't believe it's a problem that the nominee has no military experience. It's a history of doing that, and that's the way it is. And is it at all an issue when politicians are doing favors for friends and family? I mean, that's why they get voted for, right? I mean, what are you talking about? This is the dumbest question ever, right? This is stupid.
Right.
This
That's
is
why
a
I said
stupid question.
it's
The
all
whole
nuanced
reason I
because
vote for a politician is
yeah.
what he's going to do for me, right? Like, this is the dumbest thing ever. I mean, this is a what do you mean? Obviously,
Yeah. They
right?
want to
Like,
pretend everything's morally just. It's not. It's a
right.
slugfest.
So nepotism and favoritism being illegal? No. I'd hire my kid, right? That's nepotism.
Yeah.
There's a Fortune 500 company that has 1,000 or 2,000 employees. Um, if the owner puts his son in as CEO, I mean, the stockholders may say something about it, but does the
Right.
law step in? No.
I mean, I hope he puts his son in one of the cabinet members. You got to get him some experience doing something. I would hope.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how you do that, right? And obviously I wouldn't apply that standard to the president. The dumbest question is politicians doing favors for friends and family. What do you fucking call a $10,000 a plate donor dinner? Right?
Yeah,
What the fuck
I
do
know
you
what you
think
mean.
those people want for their 10 grand or 20 grand or 100 grand? What
Right.
do you think? They want
They get
access.
paid.
This is the
Yeah,
dumbest question ever. Like, this is
yeah,
stupid.
they get
Like,
paid money to go to the what do they call them? Charity events or the
right,
donors
right.
events. It's like a
Yeah,
ridiculous.
because Hillary Clinton speaks at whatever university for fucking free, right? Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. Of course not.
Yeah.
Now I will say, you remember that story not too long ago during the Trump administration, the previous one? There
Hmm.
was that Navy kid who accidentally took pictures and doxed uh he was on a ship and he put it on, I think was it Facebook, one of the two. Anyway, they went after him and Trump pardoned him. So that's another example of what I'm talking about where the government seems to just, you know, I mean the kid obviously made a mistake. He should have, not been had the hammer thrown down on him like that.
Mm.
Like I said, the double standards are ridiculous. What's his name with the subpoenas? I mean, it's
Can we even
obvious.
say it's a double standard? I mean, it's a rejection of. Hold on, I gotta say, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna say this because they're gonna say the same thing. It's a rejection of reality to think that politicians do not play favorites, or people in general don't play favorites. I have people I like, I have people
Yeah,
I don't like. I have people I would hire, and I have people
yeah.
I would not hire.
No,
I
you're
would
right.
absolutely love, I would love, would mean so much to me if we were a meritocracy. But we will never be a meritocracy because we're fucking humans. And that's what we do
Yeah,
is we say, well, you know what? I like this person. They're my buddy. So I'm going to give them a job. I don't like that guy. He's not my buddy. So fuck that guy.
yeah.
That
It's
guy looks
funny you
like
bring
a
that up
crackhead.
too, because I read a story today actually about Chucky Schumer, Crocodile Tears Schumer, in the Senate about him
Mhm.
getting butthurt about so the new Senate Majority Leader is Toon on the Republican side, and he's like, oh, I think him and Cruz said we're going to push forward Patel, and then Schumer's like said something in response, and they were just like, yeah, we don't care because like to your point, when we get pushback in Congress, it's an uproar. But then when we pull that stuff on the opposite end, in the rare sense that we have total control, it's still an uproar, but in the opposite and opposite way. So that's a great point.
I
Like
mean, we're just denying. I mean, we look, I understand, we want to talk esoterically about socialism and everyone's equal and equal rights and no misandry, no misogyny and all of that bullshit. But when it comes down to it, we're going to elect the people we like, right? or that we agree with. And we're going to vote for people not because of, obviously not because of what they've done, because people voted for Kamala who's never done anything in her life except spread her legs.
Yeah, of
This is
course.
going to be a great debate. I'm going to tear this shit up. This is
Yeah,
going to
I think
be
you're gonna do good.
awesome, bro.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
going to be good, guys. This is going to be great. I'm pumped because what can they say really, right? Like basically they could say that Trump gave that Trump turned down the Taiwanese, I believe it was a Taiwanese company to do business here or license their product here in the U.S. And like 6 months later, he changed his mind on it. We don't know why he changed his mind. There's a lot of theorizing that it was because of Ivanka and getting her trademark deals done. But again, I don't know that follows logically.
So to your point a minute ago, what is this really about? It's about them trying to claim a moral high ground when they're not in charge.
Sure.
And they know they know the hammer's coming and they're crying about it. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. It's I mean it's really an interesting dynamic. Anson, I don't agree with you. I think the Senate is going to confirm a lot of the Trump dudes. I was unhappy with who did the ladies the two women were the straw breakers that that voted in like a couple of leftist fuckers for something. What was it?
Oh, I know you're talking about. Shoot, there was McConnell was on that list. Other ones that didn't go along with the populist portion of the GOP regarding nominees. There was him and three others, and that's all it takes. That's the problem on our side. That's why I laugh when I hear them try to claim a moral high ground when they're in lockstep with each other 24/7.
You're right.
They're not all the same ilk, but they all get together and say, we're going to screw everyone over and not have any discernment on our side.
Well, see, the problem with claiming the moral high ground is it's a real problem when you don't have any morals.
Yeah.
Right. So when we know when we constantly find out that the amount of dirt Democrats hold over other Democrats. Yeah, one was from Alaska, TR Finley. That's true. When we find out the amount of dirt that Democrats hold over other Democrats and use it to make sure that they stay in lockstep, how can you in any way consider that to be a moral high ground? And if you try and refute that, I mean, we just have to look at how the spending bills go, how all of these things happen when it comes to Democrats. Sure, Republicans to some degree have, we have the same, we have a similar issue, but it is not near the rot that the left has, right? So, we'll have, and of course we're trying to get rid of those people, whereas the leftists keep putting those people right back in office. Right. I'm shocked that the lady from Alaska actually did that. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we got to hold them accountable. See, that's the thing on our side.
Well,
I
think in modernity it all boils down to money. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Who's going to make me the most and who's going to cost me the least? Right. I think that's the most accurate way to put that. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Oh, there's other things as well because, while it is different on both sides, they both have lobbyists, right?
Yeah.
So to answer Noel's point about the lobbyists, they're not the same lobbyists is the whole thing. It's just some of them are, but you have like the stupid green, like you covered it on your other show, the green stupid deal, people,
Yeah,
the
Green
nut
New
jobs that. Yeah, I mean, I saw, and it's kind of related to in your lane, with the, motorsports and everything. I saw a news story today. Nissan's laying off 9,000 workers. They're screwed with the stupid EV crap. We covered the GMC laid off, 1,000 Detroit workers. The stupid lobbyist crap on their side and on these different sides. They get rich, and then everyone else has to, get crappy vehicles made of plastic that we can't, drive for 10 minutes before we got to stick them in a stupid charger.
Well, it's an interesting thing, like there's a, and this is, and we probably won't go down this in the debate, but the special interest groups, right? So if we're going to be that concerned about nepotism and favoritism within, people close to the president, we have to be even more concerned about lobbyists and special interest groups that hold so much sway over our politicians. So, and it's worse when we're talking about someone like Congress or somebody, like for example, AOC. You guys don't remember this, I'm sure, but when AOC was first elected and moved to Washington, she was bitching that she had, I think, like a $17,000 or $18,000 student loan to pay back. She couldn't afford the clothes that she needed to wear to the meetings. She couldn't afford an apartment in Washington. There was so everything was so expensive, and she was just like, "This is crazy. I'm going to go broke doing this." Well, shockingly, she did not go broke. Why?
Right.
Why did she
That's
not?
a rhetorical question.
We all know the answer to that question, right?
Yep.
She voted the right way. She was part of the right committees. She said the right things at the right time to the right people because other people wanted those things said. So if we're going to cry about Hunter Biden getting, not getting his comeuppance, then you really got to be pissed off about AOC.
Right.
Nancy Pelosi, right? Nancy Pelosi making $3 million on stock trades.
Oh, it's ridiculous. That's to my point earlier about the January 6th thing. The reason why I brought that up is because if they want to go into nuance about pardons, which they might, then don't come crying to us when the January 6ers get pardoned, because they were all charged with conspiracy. And the fact is, Obama and Biden, the majority of them were conspiracy drug charges. So that's all.
Yeah, I do agree with all of that. I mean, look, it's hard not to agree with these things. The problem that I think that we're really facing, nobody wants to face this specific problem when we talk about nepotism and favoritism, is that the president is irrelevant in those concerns. Oh yeah, he can put his guy in charge of the FBI, and it scares the shit out of half of Washington because they've been abusing the power of the FBI for 4 or 5 years now. Yeah, maybe longer, obviously, because actually, they've been abusing the power of the FBI for a very long time. We can just simply look at the surveillance on the entire Trump effort in the first election, right? And that, which was crazy. The FBI was a part of this when they should not have been. They're supposed to be impartial, supposed to be law enforcement. So him putting a guy in there triggers everyone so bad, but is it really a bigger deal than Nancy Pelosi trading insider stock information to make a couple million in the stock market to sell her vote, and then because she's the leader, she then pushes everyone else to vote on an issue? Which is the bigger issue? Which is the bigger deal? Obviously, my opinion is Congress. You know, Congress has so few, such limited oversight. And why? Why is that? Why don't they want term limits? Why don't they want congressional oversight? Why do they not want 3-page bills? Why do they not want? Why do they not want all of the things that they keep pushing for the president? Because the president's an easy target, right? Most people don't even know who their congressman is.
It's harder to limit one. It's harder to limit one person than to go after the entire body of Congress.
It's
I mean,
very
easier. I'm sorry.
easy to. It's
Easy.
very
Yeah.
easy to poke, to poke Trump, to push things his direction and make him the the figurehead and the fall guy, and Congress doesn't want that. If every vote required an actual counting of who voted and how they voted, and that was public information, if that was for everything, the world would change. Because then you could look up and see that your congressperson has never actually voted on anything. I think it was Kamala Harris who was I think she was a senator, and she never voted on anything, not one thing. I'm pretty sure that's somebody fact check me on that, but I'm pretty positive that when she was in the Senate, she didn't vote on anything. She was always not there. Why? What are you doing? Your job is to go vote. I'm gonna destroy these fuckers tonight. This is not even gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Because it's really only gonna be that Katya girl and maybe the bisexual Canadian guy. And K's.
Yeah, but it's funny
I
you
had them
mentioned
also
that.
triggered last time. I triggered them in my opening statement. And I'm gonna trigger them again. So hard.
What's that guy? The one that you had on your show, the Libertarian. Was he in that panel?
Yeah.
He's pretty smart. I mean, I don't agree with some of his stuff, but he seems at least good faith regarding.
He's absolutely one of the better debaters on the. Out there.
He's not bad.
No, he's really, really good. You can't take him lightly. He acts like he's just I've been out of it for so long and blah blah blah. But no, that dude's legit. Chris Lestrange, yes sir. I'm going to be on Prime K's. I'm obviously streaming it here. It's a Twitch. It's a weird Twitch YouTube kind of environment. You'll watch it here. I'm going to try and be here at 7:00 or 8. It's supposed to start at 7:00 my time. It's already scheduled. You can see it on YouTube. It's already there. I just changed the thumbnail for it. I think it's up already. I don't know. Maybe it's not. But we're gonna go and it looks like now. Look, this changes moment to moment, so I don't actually know who else is going to be on the panel other than I'm positive Prime and so Prime will be there because it's his panel. Fabian Liberty will be there, and who else? Honestly, and I'm pretty sure the Katya girl will be there. Premier Katya. Let me find. Yeah, all right. So let's see. So, so the lineup could be Admiral Gibbs. Admiral Gibbs is a kind of a wild card. He's conservative-ish, Corey Campbell. He's a bisexual biologist from Canada land. He's pretty far left for a scientist, and he makes good points, but his arguments are weak. He will probably end up, if he shows up, he'll be destroyed. Fabian Liberty will be there. He'll be more or less on my side, I'm pretty sure, because as far as he's going to be concerned, nepotism is irrelevant, because libertarianism. Premier Katya, she will be there. She's left, and she lies so much. She lies. Lactoid will be there. He's conservative, 90% sure he's going to make it. And then Sociologic will be there. He is conservative adjacent. And then you have Prime Kai's. How do you? I don't know how you say his name, but Prime will be there. Prime is the host. He is a leftist, and he has a habit, especially when he has other blats on, that he lets them kind of run over the conservatives. But I think that's because most of the other conservatives are Twitch streamers, and they're so used to not being able to say anything, whereas I don't stream on Twitch. So, well, I will be tonight, but so fuck those guys. If I get, I'll try and remember their TOS as much as I can, but whatever.
Use the correct pronouns.
I'm not using correct pronouns. Dude, I literally said, so last week's debate, you missed out, bro. Somebody's got to clip this. But last week, we were discussing I think you were here last week when we did the debate prep about how the women not being, or trans women not being allowed in actual female restrooms, and how I said it was a non-issue because they have not genderless bathrooms in or unisex bathrooms in the Senate building, and so it's who cares. And I didn't even get my opening statement done, and I had caught you triggered. I mean, triggered. And so and one of the things I said is that, and I don't know if I said it in my opening or I said it a little bit later in the argument, but one of the things I said, and it literally killed everybody. I think it was in my opening, but I'm like, so what happens when, you have just an innocent woman who is walking in to use the restroom, and there's a trans dude in there in a dress, but maybe he didn't latch the stall door correctly. Maybe he has a wardrobe malfunction or whatever. And all of a sudden, bam, there's his wedding tackle out for everyone to see. And this poor woman is just walking in to use the restroom. And how is she supposed to feel about that? And when I said wedding tackle, the entire panel basically lost it. Like they just went, they were just like, that was crazy. And I just called it like it is.
Right.
Yeah. Anson is a serious simp for Katya. Although Katya literally said that she had seen cross burnings, or not cross. Well, it wasn't cross burnings. Somebody, Silvar, what did she say last week that she said? Or maybe it was
I remember
lynching.
that.
It was a lynching last week. She said
I came in just at that point, and I typed in the chat. I was like, ask them about because one of the statements they like to make, Biden said it himself, is all these right-wing extremist groups, right? And so anytime you ask them if they're so prevalent, give us a group names. What are they? They can't name them, Grid. They can't freaking name them.
I know, because all the ones they name are left-wing. the Aryan Brotherhood. No, those are anarcho-fascist. They pretty much lean to your side,
right?
And they're socialist. They're actually socialist fascist. But anyway, yeah, she said cross burnings and lynchings. Yeah, that that she liar, big fat liar. And then she said something else that was just as and I actually even Prime was like, "Are you lying right now?" Yeah. No, yeah. That's right. Yeah, so she claimed that she had been mistaken as a trans woman before, that people thought she was a man. She said that. I'm like, no, you have tits. Like, no. Like, no, I don't think so. Anson, would you, Anson, have mistaken Katya for a dude. Come on now. That's right. I forgot Silvar. That is absolutely correct. She did in fact say that. She did say that. It's gonna be great,
It's
guys.
just,
It's gonna be a great
yeah.
debate.
It's funny to me what they consider a right wing extremist group. Like in Congress, when they try to make the laws against the grouping of militias. You remember
Mhm.
that one? Not too long ago. I'm like, that's not right wing. That's like people getting together to exercise their 2A right, and
Mhm.
you know, some states have castle law doctrine. It's ridiculous. Like,
Mhm.
oh no, there's so many of these right wing extremist groups everywhere. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty stupid. Um, so hopefully, they don't bring in a ringer this week because I think um, I honestly think Scott and I are gonna actually destroy this thing. So
My prediction: one of two things.
wait,
They're gonna
but
try and bet. They're gonna try and bury you in nuance.
hmm
There was one stain on Trump's pardon list regarding a New York um, something that happened in New York with the stock market. But to your point earlier, it's not going to hold because the moral high ground issue, right? And then the other one
hmm
is when they get to an end run where they can't make an argument anymore. What they seem to do is they just go, "Oh, that's misinformation," or "That's you've won when you get to an end of an argument or a debate, and the person just goes, 'You're spreading misinformation.'" It's
right.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I'm just not going to let them do that. Like that's the problem. That's why they didn't. That's why it was so effective last time. Is I kept saying, "Hey, yeah, that's cool, but that's not what we're talking about. Are we going to talk about what we're going to talk about, or what and
yeah,
the interesting thing is when I would go off on a tangent proving my points, none of them stopped me. So I was like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Like if you're gonna let me gish gallop around like a horse, I'm gonna take the reins, baby. It was pretty funny. Um the although Katya actually did start gish galloping because she would ask like 5 questions at a time. And I'm like, whoa, I'm only going to answer the thing that actually relates to the topic. And I'll do the same thing tonight. I generically don't let people try and bury me in a bunch of stupid questions. And I'm pretty good about holding people to the question. Like, you can ask me a question, but first answer mine, you know?
yeah,
Or I'll be
yeah.
like, yeah, I'll get to your question, but I need you. I really, I asked you first, so please help me out here. So I'm pretty good about that. I'm not perfect at all, but that I'm not too concerned about that. I'm a little concerned about the Canadian guy trying to bury us in, like weird brain chemistry shit or just some weird science stuff, which I'm just going to be like, look, I'll grant you whatever you want. But the reality, but we mostly I need to deal with reality. When we can talk science, and if you want to have a scientific debate, but right now, what we're doing here today is what we have to debate is,
Right. Well, we all heard the lefty talking points before. Oh, they're gonna all these people that you support and Trump has pardoned and we're part of right wing
Mhm.
extremist groups. Blah blah blah. Steve Bannon, bad guy. He in federal prison. Blah blah blah. It's like we.
Yeah, I mean, I think that and I think that this is really going to be good because the reality is, and I think that everybody you can see this if you have any common sense at all. The reality is that you cannot deny what is going on. you can't deny that you can, but rationally you can't deny the timing. You cannot deny the timing. The minute Trump put Kash Patel in as FBI director, Noah Mann as Department of Homeland Security,
Yep.
and I forget who. I'm drawing a blank, but the minute these people are being appointed, and they fired all of the CIA, NSA, all that they let all of those people go, and I need to clean that up. I need to get my facts straight on who he fired and when. But the minute he did that, come on, guys, what happened? Like literally the next day.
Right. It's like the Gates thing. What happened with Gates?
Yeah.
I can't remember the story, but as soon as they announced that Gates would be the AG, a lot of them in the DOJ, they went and got lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that
Yeah.
are supposed to be, helping in charge of the justice system, and they get lawyers. They all get lawyers, right? Then they
Mm-hmm.
lose Gates, and then they put Pam Bondi in, and now they're all going after Pam Bondi, like
Mm-hmm.
no different than Gates. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I really feel like that. Well, one of the things I feel like that these guys are kind of used to arguing in a vacuum, and they kind of when they debate this stuff, um, they're not used. First of all, I don't know that they're really pushing. They're not used to have to push their own points. They feel like they're just accepted. Where I call literally everything.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, because when it's us trying to come in and have a civil convo, very rarely does the right have talking points, whereas the other side, especially since this is new, it's going to be funny to watch them scramble to try and figure out, like, you know what I mean, like what
yeah,
the narrative is going to be on this subject.
yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, it's a real thing, right? And so if you're going to be, if they're going to continue to, um, I mean, if the left is going to continue to um, do their weirdness, then I'm going to call them on it. Like, why would I not? Like this? That's just, why would I not do that?
Yeah.
And I feel like that I'm trying to think of where the holes in my arguments are for nepotism. First, I mean, there could be an argument that there could be a counter to the so what, because we get what would be a counter to the argument that so what, that's, I mean, just getting elected is basically promising favoritism.
Right. Well,
What would be the argument to that?
it would be not all favors are the same. To your point, your opening point, which I didn't even think of, was brilliant. You have a corruption on a level not it's
We don't
different.
consider very often.
Right. Like, these guys are connected to an energy company in Ukraine. 2 years later, there's a war. Now you have NATO and all these countries involved. That is much different than a guy going, this person got off on or got charged with whatever. He's a stock exchange, criminal or some crap like that, and so I'm going to let him off on some technicality. Is much different than starting a war when you're
Yeah.
connected to an energy company, and it's not even close. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that you really have to remember. We always have to remember, right, that no matter what, at the end of the day, a lot of these people broke the law, and they know they broke the law. The timing is irrefutable. Nobody can argue the timing of the thing is just off, right? It's just off. I mean, to try and argue that is just crazy, because it just is what it is.
I brought this up on another channel earlier, but that company is in Kharkiv, Ukraine, and Kharkiv, I don't know what the status of it currently is, but I read somewhere that it got hit. So I'm going, oh, now the evidence probably is destroyed, oddly enough. And so, just you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you could see what's happening,
Yeah.
They impeach him for doing what Biden actually did. Biden was caught on a hot mic saying it to them. They try to impeach Trump for colluding with a different country with no evidence, right? And what's the guy from California? Someone in the chat help me. The lunatic with the bug eyes. Oh shoot, what's his name? Unfortunately he got back in. But anyway, he's the one that originally said, I have the evidence that Trump colluded with Russia. And then what happened was he was called out on it, and he didn't have it. They got all this tax dollars spent on BS. They get all the way to the point where the guy's got to show the evidence, and he doesn't have it. Oh, Adam Schiff, that lunatic.
Right. Yeah.
Right. He's like, ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's pretty crazy.
But if you think about it, he succeeded in what he was really trying to do, because it was a distraction from the pushing the narrative towards the connection between Biden and Hunter in Ukraine. Now the eye of Sauron was no longer on the Bidens and Ukraine. Now it was all on Trump and impeachment and Russia. Yeah. But then all of a sudden, now there's a war that breaks out between Russia and Ukraine on some false BS narrative of expansion, when Putin says, it's a civil war. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing, for sure. I mean, it's just the timing was really strange to me, right? Like, you can't. Well, first of all, I don't. Obviously they were going to wait to see if Trump got in, right? And when he did, that was an alarm bell. But then they thought, who cares? We're still going to have all of the stuff, right? We're going to we're gonna have control of the FBI. We're gonna keep control of the CIA. The CIA is being decimated right now, and the NSA, all of these security agencies. I'm going to calm down just one sec. All of the security agencies are being just run through by Trump, and the reason, my honest opinion, is the reason for that is the security agencies have been used by the government so long in such bad faith, and Trump knows it, because it's now been twice that the security agencies have been used against him personally, and he's going after them. So, and I think the timing could not be more interesting, especially the dates and everything. So I don't know what do you, where are you at on that?
I laugh at it, because half the stories I'm seeing on the independent media, some of them are hidden behind an X wall, which I just got on X, but one in particular today was like I said, the tit for tat, when even before he got in, it's like this back and forth between them. So they released a story today about Trump saying that he's going to impose a law to stop Congress from doing an FBI probe into selecting members in some senses. Do I think he's going to do that? I don't think so, really. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but that's not the point. The point is everything he's doing right now, they're shitting themselves. They're like, well, and why did he do that? Because that was his answer to the Gates Pam Bondi thing. Like it's an unnatural thing to have a president want his own cabinet members in charge, right? So now he's like, okay, you want to play dirty? We'll play dirty. I'll just make a law. You can't do that. You're a fascist. I'm like, it's funny. It really is.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I think that I mean, it's hard to say, right? I mean, but I don't think I'm going to have that much trouble. I can't. What I'm really trying to, the reason why I'm kind of stumbling here, guys. I'm really trying to figure out what are the potential comebacks. What are these guys going to say? What routes are they going to try and use to?
Well, there's whataboutism, right?
There's always whataboutism, but I'll call it out as
yeah.
whataboutism. So that's interesting. Chino Prime, sorry about the Raging Patriot. I think he just was he misfired a little bit. Saying you took a little friendly fire there, but it's okay, buddy. You're all right. You're back in. If you can hear me. So he just accidentally gotcha. So that's okay. Hopefully you're still out there and still okay. Lestrange, it's going to be a good. I think it's going to be a really good debate tonight. Usually, Prime's debates are pretty good. He does do last time when I was on, he did a fairly good job of moderating. But it's going to be interesting for sure going forward. I had a lot of sound issues last time. I'm hoping I have those taken care of now. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. It's a matter of, hopefully I've got it working. If not, we'll find out. Welcome, K2. Keep on trucking. Glad to see you. I don't want to make it sound like this is going to be an easy debate. Certainly there's some things that they can push back on, right? I mean, they're going to say that Trump did this and Trump did that and all of this other stuff. The other thing they could do too is they could, with your claim about the Biden's connections to Ukraine, right? We all know how literally they lie out of their teeth regarding that subject. So they could come out and say, expand on your claim. You know what I mean? And so that you might have to like go a little bit deeper into the sourced information on the Biden's dealings with Ukraine. Because they might just be like, they might be like, oh well, that's just hearsay. Well, no, I mean, sure they can try that, but I mean, come on, let's be honest here, guys. They can say whatever they want, but the reality is 100% the recording has Hunter Biden saying 10% for the big guy. And we don't know what else they have. The problem I have with all of this, the problem I have with the national security angle of this is that we don't know, because the national security agencies have buried so much. We just don't know. I want to know. I'm sure I'm sure everybody wants to know.
Right. Yeah.
But nobody knows. Right? I mean,
we all seen some of the things they pulled, like the FISA abuse bill that they connected to the what do you call it? The TikTok thing. And the deciding vote was Speaker Johnson, which he's like adamantly supposed to be a populist, but then the intel agency takes him into a room for an hour. He comes out and he decides to vote on the side of the extension of the FISA bill, where they could just claim that anyone's a threat, and that gives them blanket immunity to go into anything they want with a warrant, which was
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Yeah, well, and all right. So the other thing that all right. So one of the things that they could say is that what's all right. What they could say is that um, the reason that Biden should not have pardoned his son in the first place is that all of the things Hunter Biden did, he did do. There's no doubt. Biden himself, the reason it's so hypocritical for Biden, let's just take out the fact that maybe that I don't even believe that he did it, but let's say that he did do it and that he signed that order and he's in good enough mental capacity to know what he did. In 1994, Biden signed into law extremely harsh and zero tolerance policies that targeted the offenders that committed the same crimes his son committed. Now, that resulted in a lot of people with very, very harsh sentences, and a lot of them were black. A lot of them were non-English speaking Mexicans or South immigrants, however you want to say that. Um, and that law really felt targeted to start with. So if he signed that into law, why then is it okay? Or in what way is it okay for him to pardon his son?
Right. Yeah. Well, the other thing too, another thing, because we know how crazy they can get on the left,
Mm-hmm.
they could come out and just make a blanket claim that Biden is simply doing this. And I know it sounds crazy, but they're nut jobs anyway. They
Mm-hmm.
could come out and make a claim. This is his way of getting back at either Kamala or the DNC or the party in general for ousting him, for pulling him out and implementing Kamala as the nominee.
Mm.
That could be one. That is a narrative. I'll be smaller from what I've seen. It's still out there that it's somehow him getting back at them. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
days before the election, Biden was caught wearing a red hat. I mean, yeah,
Yeah. I just feel like that. How could you not disagree with or how is it even possible to agree with Biden pardoning his son for this very same things that he did not that he voted for harsher laws on? See, that's the and that right there in and of itself shuts it down. Obviously, it's obviously at that point it makes it nepotism on the worst level. If he did actually do, I don't think he did it himself. I mean, I just don't. I don't think that. I don't think it makes a difference. Now the other side of this is Trump pardoned in 2020. Trump pardoned Charles Kushner. And he has now nominated him to be the ambassador to France. And that is Jared Kushner's dad. Okay. Not really sure what the overall thought of that is. But Kushner
Well,
was.
that's
Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's a whataboutism, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Whataboutism.
So I need to be prepared with Kushner. So Kushner was convicted of preparing false tax returns. Basically, he I don't know what he did that what he did to prepare what he falsified on tax returns, but retaliating against a cooperating witness. I'm sure he fired somebody that worked for him that was testifying against him. I'm sure that's what that is. And making false statements to the Federal Election Commission in 2005. I'm not really sure what that's. I'd have to do
Well,
some more.
if you really want to trigger them, this is what my answer to that would be.
Mhm.
When Kushner goes to France and 2 years later France starts a proxy war with somebody in Europe, then we could play the
Mhm.
game about what about this and what about that.
Well, actually, a more triggering statement would probably be when we get a recording from Kushner saying the big guy needs to get his 10%. Then we can discuss
Yeah. Yep.
Kushner being being an issue. Kushner is apparently admitted to paying a prostitute to submit to seduce someone and have that videotaped. So to I guess to um, oh, okay. This is the witness tampering. So Kushner apparently paid a prostitute to seduce his brother-in-law, videotaped that, and then he sent the tape to his sister in an effort to intimidate her against becoming a witness in the federal investigation against him. I mean, honestly, that's kind of baller. I ain't gonna lie. That's that's kind of. I ain't gonna lie. That's some next level shit right there. Um, I mean, hey, I ain't hating the player. I'm hating the game on that one. I
Yeah, well, the
mean,
other thing too is when the result of which costs nearly $600 billion in tax dollars in a combined, you know, um, military reserve assets. It's you could see where it's leading.
so I mean, just from my point of view on this, right? Like, um, from my point of view on this, is it cold hearted to do that to your sister? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he didn't like the guy. Maybe her being a witness was just icing on the cake. Maybe it was just he just didn't like that guy and want to get rid of him. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. People are able to look past their beliefs, morals quite often if it benefits themselves or the people close to them. Nepotism is a powerful thing for sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's but I mean, but now here's where I kind of go. So I would consider it nepotism if Barron Trump was given a position in the cabinet where he did nothing, learned nothing, and just sat there and collected a paycheck, right? That's nepotism to me. I don't necessarily consider it nepotism if he puts it if Barron Trump is put into a position to learn something, to to grow, to become to grab, to gain a skill and experience. Because in my personal experience, I'm harder on my son than I am anybody else. And if that's the case, is that truly nepotism? You know, do you really want to work for your dad? Is the basic question. Um,
Well,
huh?
I just wanted to let you read the comment before I
Oh yeah, yeah.
responded.
Kushner's dad is best friends with Netanyahu. I didn't know that. He would stay with him in New York when he would visit that state decades ago. Well, that obviously is very useful as an ambassador to France. To make some shit happen. Go says he's Italian and blackmail is good to go. So
Hmm.
Get that dirt, baby. Get that dirt.
Yeah. I mean, if that was me on the panel, one of the things I would say, and yeah, I wouldn't even do it to trigger them, but they'd probably get triggered. I would just be like, this is awesome. This gives, I hope he comes in and he just starts handing pardons out under the Trump administration. This is great. Let's pardon January Sixers. Let's
Oh,
pardon
there's a
all these
blanket pardon.
people.
Isn't there a blanket
Oh,
pardon?
yeah. This is going to be awesome.
Isn't there already a blanket pardon for J6ers?
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I have to look
Mhm.
more into that. But I mean, this gives a green flag to do all this. I mean, they're going to get so mad over this. I mean, it's going to be like the Oprah show. Who wants a pardon? You got a pardon. Let's
Yeah.
give. Remember that? Who wants a car?
Mhm.
You get a car.
Yeah.
Who wants a pardon?
Let's see. Let's see what we got here. I think what they're going to do here is his the judge that Trump appointed has made a couple of remarks that say um, that he opposes it um, because that would be wholesale to pardons would be beyond disappointing. I personally think that um, I agree with that. Actually, I think that the federal agents that were the provocateurs and led to most of the issues absolutely should not be um, pardoned at all. I don't think that's a good thing, and I would just rather them not do it. I would 100% rather that be like a really strong issue. Yeah, TR Finley. That I agree with that. He'll get to it. Yeah, I think Kushner is actually a pretty solid choice. I don't have a problem with Kushner Senior. So
Oh, here's the other thing regarding the small hat issues that seem to be going on. Since we have the evidence to back up the claim that the pro-commie side of the leftists are behind the anti-small hat protests in colleges,
Mhm.
I'll just go on record and say, yeah, I'm all for the small hats, and I love it, and I hope they piss them off to no end. I really don't give a crap what people say. I love the small hat community, and
you just want to go on
I
record
would,
now.
yeah, I will open my doors to any small hat migrants that would like to come over, and I will give them dinner, and you know, we'll just have a big old party where I'm at, because I'd rather deal with them than stupid gays for Palestine protesters with a commie force behind them that's invading
Well, I mean,
Canada.
obviously that won't be part of the um, debate tonight. However, going forward, I think that we're going to see a lot less of the anti-Israeli rhetoric for a couple of reasons. But it'll be really good, to see that. Um, am I happy with Trump Labor Department pick? I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that one yet. Um, the I'm mostly happy with Trump's picks though. I think most of them are at least well reasoned, right? They're not as many swamp monsters as there were before. I think Trump is purposefully. Um, I don't want to say that he's purposely poking the bear and making the the establishment go nuts just for the fun of it. I think he has a plan. I think he's executing the plan. By the way, if you guys didn't see this, the Department of Education has failed once again to be able to account for their budget. You understand what I mean? That's
Oh,
$1 trillion.
now,
That's a $1
yeah,
trillion
it's funny you brought that out.
agency.
The Dakota
It's third year.
congressman, I believe his name is Rounds. He's saying how he wants to introduce a bill to completely eliminate Department of Education.
Yeah.
Like literally take the whole thing down, which would be awesome, I think. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, Trump has already said that. So they've all right. So they've been the DOE has been sorry, I got thrown by K2. Sorry. I'll get to that, K2. The DOE has been massively criticized for years over their lackadaisical method of dealing with their budget. Well, in 22, you guys probably don't remember this because Biden administration didn't make a big deal of it, but they were unable to account for $311 billion. They made a mistake, couldn't show it. $311 billion. These are the same people that say that they can't pay their teachers and they can't provide notebook paper to students. Okay? It's these fuckers right here. These guys are the ones that are running around saying that you as parents and I as parents and people who are not parents should pay more in taxes so that they can pay teachers more and give students supplies for free, provide basic needs. Which, by the way, that didn't happen when I was a kid. I had to buy my own stupid notebook paper. But and the school had a bookstore. The school made money off of selling me notebook paper and pencils and erasers and ice cream and all kinds of shit. So the $311 billion in 22. Now, you probably didn't hear anything about that because why would Biden say anything about missing money? That would be stupid. So it was tucked carefully away in Section 7 of some report somewhere, and nobody really paid any attention to it. And yeah, so currently right now it's first of all the idea that they can't even look, they're teachers. How are they teaching my kid math if you can't even balance the budget? I mean, how is that possible?
yeah. Well, I think it's ridiculous how depending on what state you're living in, you're forced to pay taxes to the public school system.
Mhm.
And you could not have a child going to school, but you still have to pay it.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a lot of problems with the Department of Education. We could go on for a long time on that one. Jeez.
Well, I mean, basically, it's just terrible. It's the third year in a row that they've been called on the carpet for not being able to balance their budget, to not be able to justify their budget, and they can't even tell you where the money went. This is a problem, right? I mean, like, come on. That's literally like, and I don't know how many of you guys are married, but that's literally like me going out and spending 10 grand and my wife asking me about it and saying, I don't know. I don't know where it went. Spend it on something. Don't know what. How well would that go over? right? Or what if you know,
Yeah.
like you get a company
And,
credit card, right? You get a company credit card, doesn't have a limit on it because who knows what you need to buy. You go out, you spend money like a drunken sailor for a year. At the end of the year, they do an accounting and they say, "Hey, man, where's this 30 grand? What's all these charges? We need some receipts. We need something." And you go, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter." And this is exactly what the DOE is doing. The DOE, this will be a better, honestly, this will be a better debate subject than than what we're going to face tonight. I think tonight that is it's a horrible debate subject that I'm going to just trounce, absolutely trounce the leftists on. I think that they're going to get hit so hard they're going to forget they're leftist. But I digress. At the end of the day, the for you guys that have missed it, the DOE, man, Trump's right. We need to abolish them. They got to go. They got to go, man. Got to go. You know? I mean, we should have honestly, let's be real here. I know you guys don't remember this, but when they pushed Ebonics in school, when they were talking about teaching Ebonics, that should have been the first clue that the DOE was irrelevant, disconnected, and they needed to go. They need to get the fuck out of here. We hung them out for another 20 years, 30 years. You guys don't remember Ebonics. Ebonics was a very special time.
well, how could you live in a major city that has large populations, and then, which essentially it equals a larger tax base, right? But then your result in education is people who can't read at a second grade level once they graduate high school. It's baffling, you know. It's like they cut corners, do something with the money, and then
Well, we still don't know what they're doing with the money, though, man. I mean, you understand
yeah,
that so they spent. So I'm just looking down their list here. 60 billion annually in federal school allocations, and taxpayers spend 800 billion yearly on education. I'm just going to put this in perspective for you, okay? Every American could spend $1,400 a month, and you still wouldn't quite get to the $800 billion that they're spending a year. Every American could spend $1,400 per child to go to school, and you still wouldn't get there. But we know we're not spending that much. So where the fuck is the money coming from, and where is it going?
yeah. This isn't nothing new for these agencies either. I mean, you look at what happened with the someone in the chat probably knows this too, but the military industrial complex, the connections to the government, they've lost money too. Like they've had money missing, and nobody seems to know where it went.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's interesting, because when we have all of these things happen, right? It's we all get mad, right? And the math is like the problem with the numbers is they're so big that people just don't even understand, right? Like, how is this even possible, right? Like, where is all this money going? And you can't like it's impossible to really get it, right? It's impossible to really like wrap your head around the fact that that $800 billion a year is spent on education, and yet year after year we're just dumber and dumber, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, how is this even possible? And for most people, they literally can't understand how it's possible. Like, they're like, what the fuck, man? Like, how does this happen? How did we get here? Right? How is it that we are where we are? Why is it that so much of our money is sucked out of our pockets, out of the value of our homes, our every tax dollar we pay to businesses, to contract, literally like every single thing, man. Why? How does it even happen? Like, this is crazy. And if you
Yeah.
ask, people will look at you like you're crazy. Like, why are you, like, why is this even something you want to talk about? And we need to really talk about this. And I'm picking on the DOE because Trump has said that he is seriously looking at eliminating it. Well, I think that'd be the best thing possible. I think he needs to do for the DOE exactly what he did for abortion. That is, send it back to the states. That way, my state, which has an excellent school system, doesn't have to support California's wrecked, fucked up, woke ass shit. And the woke ass programs will not have money anymore because parents aren't going to pay for it. If you are literally, look, guys, in the chat, just let me ask you a question in the chat. And I don't know how many of you have kids, but let's just say you do. And somebody comes to you and they say, hey, we want to spend $3,000 a month. And instead of spending it on, shit that we know works, like books and computers and hiring another teacher or what the fuck ever, we're going to have somebody come in twice a week and talk to the kids about trans theory, about whatever, gay, homosexual stuff, right? And I mean, how are you going to react to that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
What can you do?
Yeah.
What, you know what I mean? Like,
what can you do? That is exactly right. Like, what
except,
is the, what's the thing, And so I think that, I mean, guys, come on, man. It's getting more and more nuts. By the way, hookers and blow does sound about right. So here we go. We have good, bad, and Charlie Sheen. Right? Hookers and blow. So I reckon we're trying to make kids Charlie Sheen. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, that's I figured I'd throw that out there. So we're spending money on hookers and blow. Charlie Sheen tried to do that, and it worked out well for him up until I think he got AIDS or something. So, but we have to tiger blood. That's right, tiger blood, baby. I got tiger blood, and yeah, dude, we we have to. We got to do it, man. We have to. Come on, guys. I support Trump's bid to get rid of the DOE. I support homeschooling if you want to. I support all of those things because obviously the DOE, the feds, they don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
it's anti-capitalist, really, anti-capitalism.
Yeah.
Because why do they not want these private entities to have the competition? Whether or not you agree with the how they operate as a private group is not the point. The point is that they're private to begin with. That's what they really are hiding from everyday people. My answer would be exposure. Not enough people know what the bills say, where the money's going. you know, I'd like to reference a Rand Paul Congress video where he talks about our tax dollars going towards, you know, um, DEI, you know, gender studies classes in Afghanistan. Like, what the heck is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to show you the only kind of this is the only kind of uh, LGBT I need to understand. Okay.
Oh, that's so based. Bacon.
I can leave the liquor, but the rest got to have that in my life. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. The song says. So we need to get back to reality, guys. The Department of Education is not our friends. They're not here to help. They're why we have cops that don't understand how to do their jobs. They're all DEI hires to start with. I think every teacher is a DEI hire. So let's start with that. And I know I'm pissing some people off because their parents or their neighbor or their sister or somebody's a teacher. But you know what? For every good teacher, for every teacher that you're like, hey, help the kids, there's 3 out there that are fucking kids over left, right, and center, and they're happy to do it. They will tell them not to listen to their parents, and they teach them all about the wrong kind of LGBT. We know that there's only one true LGBT that's worth talking about, and I just had it up on the screen. So that's how that works. And if they can't get behind that, well, fuck them. So that's just my opinion. And yeah, so yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that's where I'm at on that. And so that's how that works, gentlemen.
Yeah, I love bacon.
Yeah, yeah. It's there's nothing wrong with bacon. The only thing wrong with bacon is you run out. You know, you run out. That's the only downside to bacon.
So what time is it tonight? You're Central, right?
Yeah, I'm on
So it'd be
Central, so I've got it set to come on at 7. I don't know that I'm going to be back by then. Hopefully, I will be, and we'll see if that works out. But you know, it'll be I don't know, it'll be pretty cool, and just that's right. It's at I hope to be back no later than 8 o'clock my time, which means they'll have been on for an hour. But I'm hoping that that will be there. So if not, it is what it is. So um, yeah, we do need a tits. I need somebody to deliver me a tits emoji. We do need that desperately. Should get the raging tomato on that, or Michelle. Michelle could probably whip up a tits emoji. She seems like a
Well, it'd be funny and if it was obvious, but not, not presented as such. Like if we just had like melons or something. Like,
yeah. Yeah, and for you guys that don't know, I believe that Teriyaki is battling Melanie Cosmic, whatever, Fox person, Nine Tails, whatever. I think they're battling sometime this week, and it's it's gonna be a good time for everybody. It should be really cool. I'm not holding my breath for it to be really cool, but I hope, right? I can only hope, but it's hopefully it works out that way. Um, and I honestly think if Teriyaki can hold it together, and personally, I think that he should be able to make um, the he should be able to make the um,
the Furby.
Furby rage quit And
Yeah.
and if that is the case, that'll be awesome. Yeah, it'll be really cool. Let's see. Missing a lot in the chat for some reason. I don't know why. There we go. Yeah, that's the Furby TR Finley. So I think we're gonna have the Furby is going to battle Terry. I think it is tonight. I don't know that for certain. I just think it is. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before, like twice, So shit could happen. Shit could happen that I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but it could happen. So, well, we're getting kind of down to the wire here. You got any closing words there, Mister?
Yeah. I would just say, keep your eye out on the media for everyone out there. Just watch how things unfold, and support who you can, and the best disinfectant is sunshine.
That's right. Shine the light of truth upon them.
And thanks for having me up as usual.
Yeah, man, no problem. It's good. I feel like that I'm about as well prepared for this debate as I could be. I think I was pretty well prepared for it to begin with. I just needed to look up some points because I think it's a stupid argument to start with, and stupid arguments are just stupid, and you can't get around that. So, ladies and gentlemen, my final closing words. I'm going to ramble a bit probably. First of all, guys, I really got to get the donos up again. I got to get better at grifting. You guys, just has to be that way. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at it. I need to get better at it. And at some point it's, I got to do it because otherwise I can't do this anymore. I'm going to have to go back to doing things that continuously make me money. And, this doesn't currently, but it's okay. I don't know anything about you guys' foosball games. I don't really care about those sorts of things. I'm glad that you guys do. So do try and tune in tonight. Watch the debate over on Prime. I know that I'm probably going to butt heads against the debate over at Raging Tomato. I'm sorry, just going to work out that way. Can't do anything about it. I'm not that sorry about it, but I'm kind of sorry. Sorry adjacent. And but yeah, we got to get I got to get that kind of stuff going on. Pardon me. What else? We got some good stuff going on. Some kind of interesting things coming down the pipe. As things kind of TR Finley, it's cool, man. If you can't donate, don't donate. Don't go in don't do something stupid like going into debt or something. That's crazy. But the guy, if you can, it helps. If you can't, I'll make it work somehow anyway. But or at least I'll try and make it work. Again, tonight we're going to do the debate. The debate should be lit. Come watch. It's going to be a good time for all. I hope to be entertaining. Last week was very entertaining. As I ripped souls and changed worldviews. Tomorrow there's nothing on the schedule. I don't generally stream Tuesdays. Tuesdays I have a bunch of stuff going on. Wednesday I will be back Wednesday night. I might do something Wednesday afternoon, and Wednesday night is going to be tough. I have some things I need to get done Wednesday night that where I may have to start the show early and end early, or start the show late and go really late. I'm not really sure. We'll figure that out. And when I know, you'll know. I may do something Wednesday afternoon. I'm not sure yet. I generally don't do anything on Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. Thursday afternoon, I'm going to do the standard Thursday afternoon show. Should be no problem. And then Thursday evening, I'll be doing a new episode of the Airplane Shed, which is where I talk about building my airplane. And we're probably going to assemble the engine for my Sonore aircraft, or at least talk about, the assembly of that. You'd probably be very boring to most of the people that come to this program, but I will be posting the link and all of that, and I will 100% be streaming that live instead of doing pre-records like I usually do on my airplane channel. Friday afternoon, there will be nothing unless I'm on somebody else's panel, and Friday night and Saturday nights will be as normal. And Friday night, I hope to have a guest. I'm gonna start reaching out to people. I actually need somebody that is better at reaching out to people than I am, because I'm always busy. I'm always doing stuff, and so I'm actually I'm trying to get somebody to help me out with that, and we'll see how that goes. And that's my week. I will be reminding you of that, but do tune in tonight and watch the debate, panel debate. Good guys versus bad guys on Prime Chaos. It's going to be lit. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, and hopefully, it'll ride that edge between where we're not going to get Prime kicked off Twitch or for TOS, and but we're still fun enough for YouTube. In the meantime, guys, have a great rest of your evening or day, whichever it is for you. If you can, donate to the show in the future. Michigan Christian Prime K's is a Twitch streamer who has a pretty large platform. He does a weekly debate called The Reverie that I was on last week. It was awesome, and you can check that out. And so that it's a lot of fun. And then the this week, we went over it earlier. You can watch both of these on my channel last week. No, I'm streaming it here tonight. The link's already up. It's scheduled. Just go to the YouTube page. You can see it. It's the thumbnail will tell you exactly what's going on tonight. I'm going to try and be on at 7, guys. I'm really going to try. I don't know that I can be on because I've got scouts with my kid, and I may not make it back home until 8. They may have already started. I hope they don't start the second debate without me. The first is just kind of a random topic, and they just kind of bullshit back and forth. I hope to be here for that. I don't know that I can. I'm going to see if I can't get some help taking my kid to scouts, and if not, we'll see. Last week I did have sound problems. I think I've got it sorted out, but the way they do sound is weird, and we'll just see how it works out. So it's only when I do that show, because of the way he's streaming. It's just odd. I'm not really sure how to phrase it other than it's odd. So at any rate, guys, have a great rest of your day. That's the schedule for the week, and I've got to get some work done behind the scenes and in other areas. So you guys have a great afternoon. We'll see you tonight. And, be cool. Be a good person. Wear glasses if...
Yeah, I just answered your question. Can you tell me what epistemology means?
Epistemology is the study of the epistles. I mean, you can. This guy told me that a husband and wife is supposed to be the representation of God and the church. He said he's a husband. I asked him if he sees himself as the embodiment of God, and he said no. That doesn't make any sense.
Wait, what is the epistles?
The epistles are the apostles. Are you talking about the apostles?
No, what